Our wide selection of pre-owned vehicles looks so good, you'll think they're new.
So take the short drive to Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Ford, Troy, Alabama.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
These teenage years can be tricky to navigate, especially when it comes to teaching my son about managing money. I'm thankful for helpful tools like Sidekick from Max. With Sidekick, requesting and rewarding money is easy. He can earn it by completing chores, making honor roll, or simply making a request from his own app. I love that I can easily monitor his purchases and set limits to help him learn to make smart choices with his spending, even on video games. Sidekick. Find it in your Max app.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. I'm Mike Amos, and we're speaking to you from our studios on South Brundage Street in Troy, Alabama. If you're watching on Facebook, around the world, of course, throughout the United States, we're coming to you live from studios right here in Troy, Alabama. Of course, it's a big weekend coming up of high school and college football. We'll be talking about that today. We'll be talking about the huge college game between Troy and South Alabama, and in fact, a game that could turn the whole season around for both of these teams if they can win this game. And of course, coming to you from the beautiful Mobile, Alabama, and of course, we've got some super college games to talk to you about. High school coming down to the final week of preparation, getting ready for the high school playoffs, and then also in volleyball, we've got a lot of information about that to share with you today about each team heading for the regionals, then getting ready to go to the finals of the state volleyball championships. Of course, Troy University is excited. Right now, somebody told me that we've got 4 Trailway buses going to Mobile for the game. Even the 4 student buses, and then you throw in. We talked about this yesterday. You throw in 4 buses to take the team and all the staff, and then you take the 9 buses, yes, 9 buses to carry the Sound of the South Marching Band, all 350 of those guys. And you've already got 17 buses ready to go to the game. So it's going to be quite a trip as we head tomorrow down to Mobile for that big football game. And if you can't go, you can watch it right here on Troy Cable Vision, and it's going to be a super game on ESPN. I think you told me, Steve, it was going to be on 125. Is that right? ESPNU. It's going to be live on ESPNU, and should be a lot of fun to either go to the game or watch it on TV. I know a lot of people have got some parties set up. One of them out of the country club, they can watch the game on widescreen television, and that's, you can't get much better than that. Before we start talking about the all the games that we've got to look forward to, I want to go back to last weekend. 135, got you. 135 on your Troy cable dial or your S-Spring dial. And I know a lot of people, like we said, will be having football parties and wherever you can find a good place to watch it. And, of course, from the very convenient bedroom or dens at your home to watch the game from there. And it's going to be a fun night, Thursday night, from on Channel 135, and of course it should be a very good football game. I want to take a look at some things that happened last week that we might not have covered. One of them is some of the high school scores. Central Ohio Phoenix City beat Auburn, and that knocked Auburn out of the unbeaten high school ranks, and that put Central in first place in Class 7A. Enterprise playing very well right now. Enterprise beat Opelika 22-14, and they're playing real well right now. So you folks from Enterprise can get excited about your team. Other games, Hoover continues to win 38-0 over Chelsea. Another game of interest is Prattville playing real good right now. They beat Lee of Montgomery 42-18. And Thompson, considered the best program in the state of Alabama, Thompson out of Alabaster beat Tuscaloosa County 49-7, and Vestavia beat Oak Mountain 42-7, or 42-12, excuse me. In 6A, the Andalusia, it's the Benjamin Russell beat Briarwood 16-14, and in the other games of interest, Mountain Brook beat Mortimer Jordan 56-14, and so that's a few of the 6A and 5A games, and of course we've got a huge selection of games to choose from this week, but in other high school games of interest, Carroll High of Ozark beat Greenville 41-0, and of course Carroll looks like they're heading for the playoffs and playing very well at the right time. Goes Carroll High of Ozark. St. Paul's beat Blunt 22-14, and in other big games of interest, Stanhope Elmore beat Pike Road 14-13. So Pike Road that suffered their second defeat. Charles Henderson, and boy, they're playing real well right now. They beat Headland 31-13, and Eufaula beat Rehoboth in a high-scoring game 35-28, and so in Selma, the opponent of Charles Henderson this week. First time ever to play Selma, and they beat Jemison 40-17. And want to look at a couple of others. Viger, who could be Charles Henderson's opponent in the first round of the playoffs, Viger beat Alberta 42-0. Andalusia in the big shootout tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, in Andalusia. If you can't go to the Troy game, the Andalusia game with Catholic High School of Montgomery. Everybody's been waiting for it, and Andalusia beat Booker T. Washington 36-14, and in the other games that we didn't cover last week, Geneva beat Bullock County 46-0. and gives you a look at some of the 2A class. In 3A, T.R. Miller beat Satsuma 41-7, and Montgomery Academy beat Slocum 34-0. In Class 3A, some other games, Strawn beat Northside of Dothan, and that final score was 44-14. Let's go to our phones. You're on Today in L.A. We've got a big weekend going on right now.
Morning.
Of course, Mike Amos calling in from Grayton Beach, Florida, and we appreciate him every day tuning into our show. And Mike, we've got some big high school and college games to talk to you about today. And what's going on with you?
Not much. Just trying to get Millie's got picture day at the preschool, and Mayor Prater has got another day going on at first grade. It's just trying to get them out the door. It's freezing outside for us down here, 45 degrees.
I know it. It's cold.
33 degrees in Troy.
Yeah, 33 degrees. You're right.
A lot of people got a freeze last night, though, in the state of Alabama in October, which is an early freeze, to say the least. This weather for October has been amazing if you're a football fan to have cold weather at games. But just trying to get through the week. Got a birthday tomorrow, so it's always something.
Yeah, that's right. And happy birthday to Millie this morning, my little granddaughter.
Yeah, she'll turn 5 tomorrow, so we're excited about that. Been keeping up a little bit of baseball. The Yankees finally closed out the Guardians yesterday, so they've advanced. They are one of the few teams that won close to 100 games that actually won. You know, the Dodgers got knocked out by the Padres, which was shocking, and then the Braves got knocked out by the Phillies. So the Padres won about 80-something games, and then the Phillies won 80-something games, and knocked out two teams that won over 100 games during the regular season.
So the Braves were knocked out, Mike.
Yeah, they got knocked out over the weekend. I mean, it was ridiculous on Saturday trying to watch all those football games, and the Braves were facing a elimination game on Saturday against Philadelphia and got blown out 8-3.
Well,
so all those fans to go all those games, you win 101 games and you get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
it is. It's talking about what have you done for me lately, man? Oh man.
Yeah, it's all about when you get hot.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Who's playing good at the right time? You're right. Of course, we got a lot.
Yeah, I was listening to John Summerall's press conference yesterday, and he was talking a lot about Carlton Marshall being a walk-on from Gil Tulin, that he actually started watching him play like when he was a sophomore in high school. And, Summerall was very, wanted everybody to know that South Alabama did not offer, even a preferred walk-on to Carlton Marshall.
Yeah.
And no Division I program even offered that except Troy. A few 1AA teams offered him scholarships in Division II, but what an amazing story that he was a kid that would have probably played at South Alabama in a heartbeat if they would have offered him. And Troy got him, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, you're right.
And
I know he's excited about tomorrow night's game.
he had 11 tackles against Texas State, so now he's only 40 tackles away for that record.
And how many more games?
Oh, he at least got 5 for sure. Because Troy's 5-2. So if you turn around, you got to think Troy's going to probably get to a bowl. And then if you count that bowl game, that'd be 6 more games. So he's basically just got to average close to, 7 tackles a game, which would get him there. But if Troy plays another game, it'd be closer to like 6.5.
Yeah. Of course, we got tons of high school.
I don't know if that math worked or not. I'm trying to use my brain this morning.
Well,
I'm sure all my amazing math teachers through junior high and high school are laughing if they're listening to the show about my claim to do math.
Oh boy! Also,
poor Miss Ketchum used to tutor me in high school, and I'm sure she rolled her eyes many a time trying to help me learn math.
Oh boy, gosh, it's going to be a huge weekend though, with some big high school games going up. You know, this season has really passed by quickly, and you know,
Yeah,
this is the last weekend of regular season high school football. Is that right?
No, next weekend is Charles Center is just off.
All right, but they're off.
A lot of teams really finish up the regular season next weekend.
Yeah, and we've got also a lot of volleyball to talk about.
Coach Hambright wanted an off week before the playoffs started.
Yeah, I tell you, he's done a super job at. If he's not coach of the year, I don't know who could be. You know, I tell you, he is.
Yeah, they're going to be a lot of schools in Montgomery trying to get him back up there.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, as we mentioned, we've got just some big games, but you know, a lot of these teams have already the playoffs have already been determined, and now they just
Pike County still got to try to figure out where they're going to be. I read an article yesterday. They could finish as high as number, I think, 2, or as low as number 4.
Oh boy, yeah. But I tell you what.
Right now, Houston Academy of all places is undefeated in area play.
That's right. And I didn't. If I could get a copy of that.
I think they still have a lot to play for, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, a lot of games have been changed over to be played on Thursday, and one of them is Eufaula. And they moved their game, and several other games, Florella and Booker T. Washington and a few other local teams have switched over.
Why are they moving games up?
I don't know. What I'm saying, they're just playing on Thursday. You know, they're going to play on Thursday, and of course, then like we said, the volleyball championships are going to be going on all week, and you know, that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I know Enterprise has a super volleyball team, and you know, and Pike Liberal Arts, Mike, has a real good girls volleyball team, and they'll be playing Sampson in the first round. And
reading an article about Brian Hartson, Auburn coach. A lot of people are trying to figure out if Auburn's going to fire Hartson during the week. But Hartson came out with an article yesterday saying success for Auburn is a lot closer than what it seems. So does that give Auburn fans encouragement out there?
Well, I know this. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you right now, the Alabama-Auburn game is looking to be pretty competitive. I really believe.
What makes you think that?
I just know it. I mean, I can, if you couldn't tell that Auburn has developed a rushing attack, they have got a running attack now.
But Alabama's pretty good against the run. It's the pass that kills Alabama.
Yeah, well.
Alabama normally, on a year that Auburn struggles in Tuscaloosa, when they play them, usually blows them out by 3 or 4 touchdowns. It's very rare that's a close game. I mean, Alabama, I would say in Vegas right now, if they're a 21-point favorite at home against Mississippi State, that's a good team. They'd be a close to a 30-point favorite at home against Auburn right now.
Yeah, well, Alabama might not be as good as.
I mean, coming off the loss, Alabama's a 21-point favorite against a team that can really score in Mississippi State.
Yeah. Well, Kentucky sure shut them down, Mike. Should shut Mississippi State down.
Yeah, you know, Kentucky, you know, played horrible the week before, though, against South Carolina. You know, they got 24 points to South Carolina.
Yeah.
Hard to believe they gave up more points to South Carolina than they did to Mississippi State. It wasn't like the defense wasn't playing. It was just Levis wasn't playing.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Football this year is one of the more stranger. I mean, week to week, you just don't ever know what you got. I mean, LSU gets absolutely just destroyed by Tennessee. I mean, offense looks atrocious. They go to Florida and put up 45 points in Florida.
They're playing well right now. You're right.
But, I mean, I'm coming off one of the worst performances I've ever seen LSU play at home against Tennessee. So you just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah. just shoot in here because somebody's got to have some relief. Is that right?
I'm on Zoom, Steve. If you want to put me on.
Yeah, Mike's on Zoom, pretty face on the air this morning. Of course, some the high school.
Hard to believe the NBA started last night. Can you believe that? I mean, does anybody care?
I know it. Who played who?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to go over all the games, but it's just so funny to me that we got NBA basketball starting up already.
I was looking. Oh yeah, I've got here. I was looking for some schedules, and but you're right. They started last night.
Yeah.
And of course,
got my first jacket on since Lake Tahoe. I had not worn even a long sleeve until this morning.
I was taking a look at some of these games this week, and of course, in high school football, it doesn't look like a very competitive group, but I was looking for.
I mean, Charles Henderson's playing a 7-2 Selma team. That ought to be a good game.
Yeah, that's right. And the big game of the week, ladies and gentlemen, is Carroll High of Ozark. Montgomery Catholic playing at Andalusia. That's going to be a great game. Both teams undefeated, and both teams have got great players on it. In fact, Andalusia has a 5-star running back that everybody's talking about, and Catholic has about 10 players that everybody's talking about. So it's going to be a great game.
Catholic,
it's going to be a great.
I don't know who's coaching at Catholic, but man, he can really recruit.
No question about it. And of course, that is going to be the game of the week is Montgomery Catholic at Andalusia. And then Carroll High of Ozark, Mike, is playing very good football, and I don't know if I think they've already clinched the playoff. Carroll plays at Valley Fairfax. I want to say Fairfax, Valley, Alabama. And Pike County, Mike, about as good a football team as there is out there in Class 3A, plays at Daleville. Watch out. I'm going to say this. Watch out for Pike County. They might even win the state championship. I think they're that good.
Well, I mean, right now they're third seed in their own area. They got beat by off.
Yeah, but that was early. All right. Can you tell us how Pike County's done?
Yeah, I can pull the record.
All right, do. Boy, this coffee's good this morning. Other game.
I promise, when you pull up Pike County football, there's also Pike County football in Georgia.
Yeah, you got Strawn at Ops, going to be a good game. Arrington playing Selma. Playing Sampson. Goshen playing at Horseshoe Bend.
They're 5-2, 4-2 in the region. First game of the year, they played strong. They got beat 20-19.
Look at the scores.
After that, they beat Ashford 34-0. They played Northside Memphis out of Dothan. They won 28-18. They played Opp at home. They got beat 28-27. They beat Headland 18-13. They beat New Brockton 38-0. They beat Providence Christian 21-7. They're away this week, and will play at Daleville, who's only 3-6, so they should win that game. And then last game of the year will be their biggest game of the year. They'll play in Dothan against the Yuppies of Houston Academy.
Okay, an undefeated Houston Academy team. But let me just say this.
Don Jacobs is calling the plays.
He's the offensive coordinator for them?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I've said it. I've said it all along. Look out for Pike County. I'm telling you, they've got 2 or 3 skilled players that can play for anybody, Mike.
Well, we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if that game means anything when they play Houston Academy, because we'll play right now. Houston Academy is going to be the number 1 seed, regardless.
Yeah, no question about it. And of course, they who was that they won? They beat this past weekend. That was such a big surprise.
I don't know. I have to look and see. Houston Academy, I think it's still coached by Eddie Brundage.
Yeah. Eddie
former
Brundage is
Troy coach.
yeah, he's a head coach, and of course, one of the all-time great players to come out of a little town in Crenshaw County, Mike.
Yeah, Houston Academy is 8-0, 6-0 in the region. Man, every game they played, they have pretty much dominated. Only close game they've had all year was against Strong.
Yeah, and
so you got Houston Academy coming off a win last week. They beat 42-7.
that's what surprised me, and that was Mike DeBose's
that
worst
game
defeat.
that game was at off.
Yeah, wasn't that something?
Yeah.
Well, we've got a real town again. This one is one of the top high school games out there. Real town at Highland Home, Mike, and it's going to be live on Troy Cablevision, and so you can sit back and watch it on your TV as the Lions squadron of Highland Home against a very good real town team. Mike, what do you think?
Well, I mean, Highland Home's undefeated. Wilson's done a great job, and yeah, I'm sure they want to finish the year unblemished. They went to the fourth round of the playoffs last year. They got the Falk brothers. One of them's already signed with Florida State or committed to Florida State. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I guess he will sign in December, though, because that's your signing day's coming up very soon.
Yeah.
So great job by Will Pouncey. I mean, I told you years ago when I did the coaches show with you on Troy Cable.
Yeah.
When Will would do the coaches show for Elba, he was just an assistant coach.
Said, look out for that guy, didn't we?
So we kind of knew the writing was on the wall when he was very young as an assistant. Of course, his family, the Pounceys, his dad has run the Birmingham school district up there in Birmingham for years and years. I don't know if he does it anymore, but when I lived in Birmingham, he ran the school system of Birmingham.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, as we speak, we're talking about the state volleyball championships going on in Montgomery, and that's going to be a big event all week and next week too. But
where is this at? The Crossplex up there?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, the Crossplex at Crampton Bowl. That's where the district tournaments will be held, and then the championships are held in Birmingham, and that will be the next week. But
okay,
I tell you what, girls volleyball is getting to be a big sport, and I want to mention that GW Long is playing at 11:30 today. That's up against Thorsby, and GW Long's always good. And Brantley, yes, they're in it again. They're 22-10. They're playing Sweetwater in girls volleyball, and Sweetwater's always good, but Brantley is even better. So a lot of good teams from Brantley, GW Long, Arrington, Pike Liberal. As we mentioned, they're good. Their program's 13-3, and this is the first real, actually competitive public school game that Pike's played in any sport, and they're doing quite well, no question about it. Charles Henderson and Dothan and Enterprise are competing, and Eufaula, Rehoboth, and Pike Liberal Arts are, as we mentioned, are all competing for a state championship. So, a regional championship, and a right to go to Birmingham for the state championship.
Yeah, here's Selma High School football team's record throughout the year. Do you want to hear that?
Yes, sir.
So we got the Selma Saints, 7-2, 4-1 in region. This will kind of tell you how good they are right here. Beauregard, we know how tough Beauregard is. They're the only team that beat Charles Henderson. They lost 21-16 to start the season. Then they played Southside of Selma, won 36-8. Lost to Demopolis, which is no surprise there, 22-0. They beat Holtville 18-7. They beat Greenville 36-6. They went to Montgomery and played Park Carlson and won 18-14. went to Mulberry and won 30-14. Beat Shelby County 29-0. Beat Jemison 40-17, and now they're playing Charles Henderson. So,
Boy,
man,
I
that's
tell
going to be a
you,
great game.
that's going to be a tough game. Charles Henderson at Selma, and it's 100 miles away, and it could be a tough.
Tell everybody, you've traveled the world, you've traveled the state. What's the best way to get to Selma? Go through Montgomery and cut over?
Well, the people know where the airport is.
If you go to Red Schoolhouse route?
You'll get. You're right. There's a lot of.
You can pop on 331 that way.
Yeah,
and head to Selma.
Well, the best way to go is to go to Montgomery and then go to you go out to the airport. You know where the airport is in Montgomery.
You take the cut through before you get to Montgomery.
That's right.
That back way to the airport.
That's right. You'll go to Montgomery and just stay on 80, on Highway 80, and it'll take you right to the stadium. And
so you turn like kind of to the left.
I'll tell you what you do. You actually
when you what is it? The Trotman, kind of before you get to the Trotman.
Yeah, you could, but I'm not going to try to tell anybody that way to do that. But the best way to do is to go. You'll go and hook on to 65 South, and then you'll get off at 65 South at the Montgomery Airport, and follow that, go all the way through.
Yeah.
So if that's any good, I don't know.
I used to live in Tuscaloosa, and I'd have to go and work in Selma every once in a while, and I'd go straight down 69 to Selma.
Yes, sir. And but it's going to be
big game, though. I'll tell you what, Selma. I don't know what kind of support they get and turnout, but I can't remember in my life recently where Selma was 7-2 in football.
That's right. But I tell you what, in basketball, a different story, buddy. They were good, always good in basketball.
Yeah, you got Richard Evans, the former mayor, former longtime SEC official, and then Andre Evans, former Troy basketball player for Maestri, is probably the top official in basketball now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. His daddy had worked something like 8 Final Fours, Mike, out of Selma, Alabama. Yeah. He's a great man. And Mike, we're talking about a big college weekend coming up, and
I'm excited to watch Troy tomorrow night on TV.
On channel 135.
Wish I could go to the game.
I wish I could too, Mike. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to go, Mike.
It's going to be a great crowd, and I think it's going to be really good for TV. ESPNU is probably at least 20 million people across the country probably have the ESPNU, so good exposure.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the team it'll take 4 Trailways buses for the team to and all.
Team is leaving tonight. Coach Summerall said yesterday.
All right, they're leaving tonight, so they'll go over and probably work out on Friday morning. On Thursday morning.
Thursday morning.
They'll probably have a walkthrough maybe on.
I mean, they might have walked through tonight. Depending when they get there.
And then the student bus.
They got so many relationships with all these different high schools throughout the state. They'll probably work out at some high school in Mobile.
Probably will. In fact, I know the former head football coach at McGill Tulane is on Troy's staff. And that's a very nice 6, 7, 8 school in Mobile that they could work out at. But all right, four buses for the football team, 4 buses for the they tell me they're gonna have student buses. They're gonna have 4 student buses. They're gonna have 9 buses to carry the Sound of the South. So that right there is 17 buses. And probably be a few more other buses going out of here. but somebody told me 18 buses are going to make the trip.
Oh, that's great. I know a few years ago back when Neil Brown was there, that was one of the biggest crowds he said Troy has ever taken on the road.
Yes, sir.
Down there.
And this one,
Troy won a big game.
Yeah.
Jordan Chun had a big night.
And this right here might be the largest crowd we've ever taken to a game, but
Well, you got a lot to do down there. Mobile's a big city, and you got Biloxi 45 minutes away. I mean, there's a lot of fun to be had.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's a trip I would normally take in a heartbeat. If I didn't have my little one turning 5 tomorrow, I'd be down there and enjoy
Well, do you have rooms for anybody down there?
I've always got rooms. Not in Mobile, but in another place I do.
Yeah, okay.
But, one of those things where I wish I could go, but I'm very blessed that it's going to be on TV. I can go to Barago and have an amazing dinner, and then I can come back and watch the game. So looking forward to it. Betty's got to deliver pizzas and cupcakes to preschool tomorrow.
Yeah, do you have to feed the whole class or what? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm feeding her whole class, and I'm feeding all the teachers.
So
it's very, very easy to drop off pizza and cupcakes.
Well, is that for lunch or what?
Yeah, lunch.
So what if they brought their own lunch?
We'll tell the teacher to send out a message to all the parents to let them know that lunch will be on us tomorrow.
Okay. All right, that sounds good.
Kind of what you do down here, man. You once you do a party, you feed them all.
Yeah. Well, is that just one class? Now that's
one class, but we all always buy extra pizza for all the.
And she's in the she's in the but now.
I'll tell you what, you folks out there that are planning a trip to the beach this weekend, go ahead and bring your noisemaker, because man, there's motorcycles everywhere for Thunder Beach. It is crazy.
Oh, you mean they've got Thunder Beach this weekend?
Oh, yeah, motorcycles everywhere.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm glad you told me.
I'm trying to stay away from Panama City Beach this week. I'll be honest with you, these motorcycle guys are starting to come on 30A and drive down this way. You know, you see way more down here than you used to.
Yeah.
So it's not just a Panama City Beach thing.
Well, you know, I was planning on watching, maybe going down and watching the game, but I don't know about it now. I don't know if I want to go to Thunder Beach.
Yeah, you know how loud those motorcycles get. I mean, nothing against motorcycle riders, but man, it seems like they just try to be as loud as they possibly can be. I saw about 10, 20 of them going into the Red Bar yesterday when I was outside.
Yeah.
So,
one
weekend that you guys don't want to be on the road, man, it is packed down that way.
Mike, tell me about this Troy basketball player that's so good. They claim that she's one of the best players in the country. Karanga.
Yeah, well, I mean, she played on the national team, I think, for Kenya.
Yeah, and she plays for Troy.
She's a great shot blocker, great rebounder. She's not as polished of a scorer as like Guy was. But yeah, she's good. You know, one of those players Coach Rigby kind of developed throughout her career. So yeah, I'm sure Troy probably preseason.
She is the Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year, Mike. Preseason Player of the Year. That's saying a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know, I'm interested to watch Troy's basketball team play this year. You know, you're talking about a team that won 20 games, and boy, the transfer portal really hit Troy hard, and Troy brought in a lot of guys. But I mean, if they would have brought back every single one of those guys from that team last year, no telling what they could have possibly accomplished. I mean, if Coach Cross wins 20 games with this brand new group of guys, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
Troy lost some really big scores last year.
Yeah. So
they're supposed to have Stampley, who was at Troy for 3 years, and then the kid out of Georgia, I can't remember his name, I'm drawing a blank, but another guy. So they're going to lose 2 seniors that weren't even starters off that team last year, and everybody was supposed to be back, but then they lost the kid to SMU Odigi, the big 6'9", 250-pound power forward. Then they lost.
And this is to the portal. This is to the portal.
Duke Dean, the guard, that just shot lights out from three, and he was only about 5'8", 5'9", but could really score. He went to Bradley.
Bradley.
He lost two other guys to UT Martin. One of them's that Desmond Williams, a kid out of Montgomery, played at Brubaker Tech.
Went to
for 3 or 4 years.
And they
were UT Martin.
UT Martin. Well, they don't have much of a program, do they? Are they even?
That Miguel, that Ruben Miguel guy, the other big guy, the 6'8" guy that probably weighed about 280. He went to UT Martin as well. Mm-hmm. And then a couple other guys transferred. It's amazing how many guys they lost from last year.
Well, I was looking at them. They introduced them the other night. They're sure not a very physical-looking team. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I know. That's what you lost Odigi and that Miguel. Yeah. They were both huge guys down low. Yeah. Miguel was not near the player that Odigi was. Odigi was a guy that
I liked him.
Double machine last year.
And of course,
but Troy, has Zeke Miles, the kid out of Robert E. Lee. I think he'll be 100% healthy this year, and I think he'll be a phenomenal player. They got the Williams kid from Parker that's been at Troy for like 6 years.
Yeah.
And they've got a transfer scorer from Georgia State that can shoot the three, and then they brought in a guy from University of Texas San Antonio that can shoot as well. Then they brought in a Division II guard, I think, that can really shoot. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I know they'll be coached right, and no question about it.
I don't know if they ever even went over their schedule. You want to go over their schedule?
Yeah, do, if you will.
Yeah, we can talk about that. We got Max coming up in about 15 minutes. You want to take a commercial break? And then
we'll take a commercial break brought to you by Troy Bank and Trust Company. The Troy Bank and Trust Company is the only bank you'll ever need. And, of course, by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks, where they've got perhaps their biggest sale of the year going on right now at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep. Remember, nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
On there.
We're back on the air, Mike, and give us the idea of
where's Steve when we need to go on commercial break?
Well, he's busy. He stays busy up there. No question about it. In the box, he puts on this show.
Troy's upcoming schedule coming up. I mean, Dad, I'm kind of nervous about this on November the 7th. It's a great basketball program. You could suffer a loss to an in-state team called Montevallo.
I know they are good. They're good.
The first game is against Montevallo, so that will be on November the 7th, Monday at 6 p.m. So that's not too far away.
That's on a Monday. Is that right? A Monday, the 7th.
Yeah. After that, Troy's playing. I have no idea who this team is. MUW. Doesn't say the name, just says the initials. That's another home game after that on a Thursday night. Then this will be a fun trip. Maybe I could drive over here and watch this game on a Monday night. Troy against Florida State.
Oh, right. Yeah, I would like to go myself. That's going to be on a Monday night.
Yeah, then Troy plays out in a tournament in Missoula, Montana. Wow.
Oh, boy. I know one thing, it'll be cold out there.
Missoula, can you imagine the weather in Missoula,
I know it.
Montana?
I know it.
November 17th, they play Merrimack. Ever heard of Merrimack?
Yeah, believe it, I have.
Then after that, they play another game in Missoula, Montana on Friday night against the University of St. Thomas. Man, never heard of that.
Is that St. Thomas of the Virgin Islands?
I don't know. I would not think so, but I guess you can find out. Then after that, they play the host Montana Grizzlies in basketball. How in the world did Coach Cross do this trip?
And I can't see that being a fun trip or not, but maybe so. Well, what is that hat you got on this morning, Mike? What does that hat say this morning?
It's my Lake Tahoe hat I got. I'm wearing it nonstop. I like it. All right, after that, you got November 23rd. You got Southern in New Orleans.
Yeah.
No, in Troy. So Southern University of New Orleans coming up to play.
Yeah.
Man, what a trip here, Dad. 2 to Fayetteville, Arkansas, where Troy has actually won in basketball before. Bud Walton Arena at Arkansas. Troy will play on the 28th.
Yeah. If you look at it, I think they won twice there, Mike. So yeah, check on that.
I know they won once for sure, but at Arkansas will be a fun trip for fans to go to.
You got to want to go there. Let me tell you this: you got to want to go there. I promise you, it's in the middle of nowhere, no places.
And then after that, they'll travel to Edwardsville, Illinois. Well, they're doing a horrible job on TroyPistons.com of telling you who they're playing.
Well,
they're playing SIU
Carbondale
Cougars. No, this is in Edwardsville.
Okay.
So, I guess Southern Illinois, something?
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
I mean, this is really, really hard to believe how they've done this. But on December the 5th, listen to this. At San Diego State, who's a Division I powerhouse.
Oh, God.
So Troy's going to be in Montana. This is the craziest trip ever. They're going to be in Montana. Then they're going to come back home to Troy, play one game. Then they're going to go to Arkansas, Illinois, and San Diego.
And they're going to play at Illinois?
It's not Illinois. I guess South.
Carbondale.
No, it's not Carbondale. SIUE.
Okay.
So I got to do some more research on the schedule. And then at San Diego State, then they're back home finally on the 10th to play Tennessee Tech at home. They'll play Southeastern Louisiana in Hammond, Louisiana on the 17th. Then they'll play another game in Trojan Arena right before Christmas against Mercer. He's always good in basketball.
Yeah. And what day would that be?
And then after that, conference play starts on December 29th at Southern Miss.
Yeah. Okay. At Southern Miss. How does it?
Non-conference schedule. This is probably one of the toughest Troy's ever played at San Diego State, at Arkansas, at Florida State.
Oh man!
And then at Montana in a tournament.
Give me the date of the Florida State game again. You said it on a Monday night.
Monday night, November 14th.
November 14th. All right, that's not very far from now.
No.
But of course, Florida State.
Leonard Hamilton's a legendary basketball coach at Florida State.
Yeah, that's right.
Unbelievable job.
And now conference-wise, taking a look at Troy, Mike, is the conference going to be very tough?
It's going to be very tough. It's going to be loaded.
All right, tell me who's going to be good.
Well, I mean, you got Southern Miss, in the conference now. You got Texas State. You got Old Dominion, who's a basketball school.
Yeah.
Even though they're leading the Sun Belt in football right now.
Yeah.
You got Arkansas State. Georgia State wins the league every year. App State's been good. James Madison's got a great basketball program. La Monroe, Louisiana Lafayette's always really good. South Alabama. Troy's got a really tough conference to play in. They got Marshall in the conference now. It's pretty good in basketball.
Now, how will these divisions work, Mike?
Oh, there'll be a West and a East, just like there is in football.
Do they all play each other or what?
Yeah, they all play each other in basketball, though.
Yeah.
From what I'm looking at right here, it looks like Troy plays everybody in conference.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering, home and home.
And then you got the basketball championship Sun Belt where Dad and I went last year, which is a phenomenal trip in Pensacola. Everybody
that was nice.
Next year, that was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and looks like a big year in basketball, and we're not dodging anybody, are we?
No, we're not. But you want to try to take a commercial break?
Yeah, we will. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
At cost plus 10%, we offer your favorite brands at the best price. At Piggly Wiggly, we keep it simple. We price our products at cost, then add 10% at checkout. We carry all your favorite name brand foods, and we accept manufacturer coupons.
The show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by our good friends at located on the square in downtown Troy, Bird's Drugs, and for the best breakfast in town. I tell you, you can't beat Bird Drug if you want a good hot breakfast this morning. And of course, we appreciate Joe Watson and all the people there that represent Troy, Alabama. Of course, the parade was big this weekend, Mike. Your sister worked with me on the parade and did a great job, and she hasn't lost her touch, has she?
Yeah, Rebecca, it's been on television all her life, it seems like. I mean, I remember when she started her meteorology career down in Dothan, and of course she was in Mississippi for many years, and Montgomery, and all over the place, it seems like. And then, of course, the EWTN is a Catholic television station that I think is owned in about 175 countries.
That's a pretty big station.
So she's got a lot of production work and on the air work and behind the scenes work. And Rebecca also speaks fluent Spanish. That when the Pope several years ago was in Brazil and was speaking to the masses down in Brazil, she was interpreting everything the Pope said in Spanish into English live on television.
And so, this is on worldwide. It was on worldwide.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how many millions of people all over the world heard Rebecca.
She's very talented, and she tickles me. When she goes home, she watches the Spanish network like it was. Like it was everybody was listening to it, but she is definitely fluent in Spanish.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Let's take it.
My girls get a kick out of it because she speaks Spanish around them a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, she's a diehard Troy fan and supporter, and of course, we appreciate her very much. Mike.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, y'all were burning up during the parade. Y'all have been freezing today.
I know it. You're right. You're right.
I think Troy's going to get it down to I think I read 31 maybe tonight.
Freezing. Is that do you say it's going to be freezing tonight, Troy?
I believe so. Yeah.
Won't you see if you can find out about that?
Yeah, 31.
31 degrees in Troy, Alabama tonight. So. Get ready. And, I used to say throw another log on the fire, but now since I deal in gas and gas heating, I'll just flip a switch and enjoy a lot of good atmosphere.
I miss that too. I remember when I lived in Birmingham, I had those gas logs, and you just hit a button and they would turn on automatically. It was pretty nice.
Yeah. When you were growing up, and of course I've always loved the fire, and I always had a big fire in the fireplace. And but your mama wasn't as crazy about it as I was, because she was saying, "There's smoke getting in the house. There's smoke getting in the house." And it was never a time that smoke didn't get in the house on a real cold morning.
Yeah, it's commonplace. Everybody had fireplaces growing up, and you'd always see the smoke coming out of the chimneys, but you don't see that much anymore.
And something else this time of year, the smell of smoke. You walk outside, and you can smell all the it was just a great aroma to smell all the folks burning a fire.
I'll tell you one thing I do enjoy down here, though, is there's a lot of people that love to cook out down here, man. You take a walk around the sand dunes towards the beach, and man, everybody's got their grills going down here.
Yeah,
makes you want to walk up and just grab something to eat.
Yeah, you're right. I'll tell you something, Mike, that was prevalent when I was growing up, and I know I might be touching a lot of folks here, but was people that would burn leaves, Mike. That they would sweep up the leaves in the yard, and then they would burn it. And the aroma, the fabulous aroma of those leaves burning really was made me know for sure it was the fall of the year.
Yeah, you probably can't do that in Troy anymore. Speed limit.
No, you can't.
Outside the city limits,
You can't. But it was wonderful though to do that, and of course it was just one of the many signs of fall. You know, it's when people started burning their leaves. And then as a kid walking home and all right, me walking home, Mike, and nobody knows the way I do things more than anybody else. But Mike, what would I be doing walking down the streets?
Walking down the street?
Yeah.
I don't know, picking up pecans?
No, not picking up pecans, but cracking acorns. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A.
Mike, it's Max. How you doing?
Good morning, Max Howell. Max Howell calling in from the great state of Mississippi this morning. Let me bring Mike in right behind you, Max.
Okay.
And then we got both of you, Mike. Mike Amos calling in from Great Beach, and Max Howell calling in from Fulton, Mississippi. Boy, they're all excited about their football team, aren't they? The Ole Miss Rebels.
No joke. Yeah, I had people come in, Mike, like you guys came up for the Troy Ole Miss game. I had a bunch come over for the Auburn game last week.
Oh boy!
And that was a long weekend for them.
You know, and of course, you know, Michael was telling me some of the comments that I can't even. I still can't even pronounce the coach's name. Tell you the truth.
Brian Hartson.
Yeah. But Mike says that he says that they're just a few things away from being good.
Somebody must be seeing something I ain't seen.
But you know, I tell you what,
you know, Ole Miss got up 21-0, Max, and it looked like it was just going to be a massacre. It looked like Ole Miss was going to pick their score, and then the next thing you know, Auburn cuts it to 7, I guess, in the fourth quarter, and Ole Miss wins 48-34. Y'all had some lightning delays up there, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, they got the thing down, Mike. If there's a lightning strike 2 miles away, they pull them.
I know it.
The TV crews off. I mean, I understand that. Sometimes I think there was not a cloud in the sky at the stadium, but they had a storm going by somewhere around Pontotoc, which is about 10, 15 miles outside Tupelo.
Of course, Max Howell, one of the leading football analysts in the country, and of course, Max, you could have got one of these jobs if you wanted it with all these $35,000 a year jobs.
Mike, the only difference is I'm just born too early.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
I mean, you got to
Max, I think. Okay. No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that when I was at Troy, I took $1,000 a year cut to come to Bay High in Panama City, Troy University.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how bad it was.
Yeah.
I had a master's degree, 2 double majors. Had to coach football and golf and teach 2 classes for $7,500 a year.
Oh boy, yeah.
I was gonna ask Max if he was thinking back of his Thin Bird offense coordinator days at Troy, watching Tennessee's offense shred Alabama's defense. I mean,
very true.
I've never in an SEC game seen wide receivers, Max, more wide open than I did in that game in my life. I mean, and they dropped 3 or 4 balls. Or 3 balls that were poorly thrown that would have been wide open touchdowns.
Let me tell you the reason is that, first of all, it was a brilliant game for you. But that's Heupel's game plan. I don't know why Alabama has picked it up. When the ball, let's say the ball's in the middle of the field, the wide receivers on each side, the furthest out, are 2 yards inside the boundary. They're way outside the hash mark. Then they'll put another slot guy in between, and they run cross patterns. And you can't cover that with being coverage. You've got to use zone. Coach Saban is adamantly opposed to zone coverage, but that's the first time, they really had to work against that. That's the whole reason. On top of that, they had 4.4 wide receivers running against 4.5 and 4.6 defensive backs.
Somebody told me that Alabama just got out coached. Is that true?
Well,
they did.
what I'm saying. It's the system that's hypo. But Alabama had, half a dozen films and tapes. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know whether they, in their mind, is transposed from the practice field to the kids. They won 15 straight. And they could go out there and run their regular system and win. But they found out real quick they can't. And I'll say this thing: if they play like that, if Tennessee plays like that, they'll beat Georgia in 2 weeks.
Yeah, they sure will. They'll outscore them, won't they?
Yes, they will. That'll be the way they do it.
I'm just struggling though. The more I think about this game, Max, I mean, how in the world Saban, who's coached all these years, Bill O'Brien's coached all these years, how in the world in that last drive does Alabama get the ball at the 32-yard line and not run the ball 3 times there, make Tennessee use all their timeouts? You basically get the game down to 3 seconds left and probably don't kick a 50-yard field goal, probably kick more like a 40-yard field goal. And Tennessee gets the ball back. I mean, basically nobody gets the ball back. It goes to overtime if you miss the kick.
The worst thing that could happen would be go overtime. You're right.
I'm just shocked by the way they worked the clock at the very end of that game.
But guys, you got to remember who's calling the plays. That's an NFL. That's an NFL concept. Is what that is, and it works. I'm just telling you. How many times you see the NFL try to run on those circumstances? They're gonna throw it.
Yeah.
And that's who's calling the play. Coach Saban ain't calling the play.
I was telling my wife though, I was like, if he misses this kick, they're gonna have the ball at the 33-yard line with about 20 seconds. They end up having 18.
That's right.
And that was more than enough time.
And those crossing patterns had been wide open all game long.
And I'll tell you another one I was disappointed in. If you go back and look, the 3 field goals that they missed by Alabama all came from the right hash. And why in the world, if they broke the tape down, if they get the ball back in the middle of the field on the left hash where the guys been very consistent. I mean, look, they got 20 guys in the box up there. Don't tell me they couldn't put one on the kicker. Watch where he is and what he does. I mean, it was just so done Alabama in preparation that I've seen all year.
Yeah, it's almost like I was watching the game throughout, and then Alabama also kicked some chip shot field goals. But and I kept on saying you can't kick field goals in this game. You got to score touchdowns. But it was almost like O'Brien. I mean, Bryce Young, everybody's worried about him being injured. You could tell early on he was going to be fine. But some of the play calling throughout the game, like he would always run on first down every single time with Gibbs. When Alabama was basically just throwing at will. But Alabama was basically given a touchdown by Tennessee late in that game on that fumble, that run-pass option that gave Alabama really a chance to win it. I think if Alabama doesn't get that given touchdown fumble from Tennessee, Alabama would have never even come close to having a chance to kick the field goal to win it at the end. But
very true.
Strange game. Now you got to tell me about Mississippi State, Kentucky. Dad and I didn't get to watch any of it. I had to. I called that one last week. I know I did. But what happened to Mississippi State? They were absolutely rolling on offense. They just got shut down.
Yeah, but let me tell you, Mike. Go back. How many times have we said through the years? Leach's system is a program system where the quarterback has to throw to a spot. He don't throw to a wide receiver. He throws to a spot. When you rush 3 and drop 8, those gaps in between is where he has his completion. You get Alabama exposed to last year when they rushed 5 or 6 men every snap, and they had 7 sacks. And you watch this coming up Saturday. It's going to be the same picture. That's all. Look, Leach ain't got but about 6 or 8 plays. That's all he does. It's all around his formation, and it's all around what the defense does. And if you don't rush for 3, he'll pick you to death. And that's why he's been so successful. Everybody's afraid of the deep ball on him. Well, get him before he throws the ball. And that's what Alabama's philosophy is. And that's what other people, that's exactly what Kentucky does.
The key to the whole...
And then you run the football on offense and keep their offense on the sideline.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Rodriguez had 200 yards rushing for
200, yes. Yes, he did.
Yeah. And that's the key, keeping the ball away from an offense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Alabama tried to do that against Tennessee. I know that's why they try to run Gibbs as much as they said. But, Dad That's been right on Alabama. He's called it this year. I thought offensively, wide receiver-wise, somebody would step up, but nobody really has. The Burton kid that transferred from Georgia was supposed to be the star wide receiver and really hadn't shown it. And Alabama's got the star running back in Gibbs, and he's the closest thing to Alvin Kamara I've ever seen. But that's about it.
If they didn't have Gibbs, they would be in a lot of the ball games, Mike, I think.
Well, why don't we just go ahead and admit it that this is not a great Alabama football team.
Well, it is not. It is not the team I thought that would show up. I think defensively, it's got to look golden at the end of this year.
But they gave up 51 points, Mike, or 52 points.
That's what I'm saying. He's got to look at Golden, the defense coordinator, and maybe make a change if he's going to stay on the coach.
Yeah. Guys, you got to go back and look. I mean, the guy that got beat the most was number 2 in his secondary back there. He's most physical, but he ought to be a linebacker. They
picked on the safety.
He's a 4-6 guy. I mean, you can't play in this league at 4-6.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
And then they got the Arnold kid, the freshman corner for Alabama struggling too. They brought in Eli Rick, freshman All-American from LSU. Comes to Alabama, is now second string, not even playing.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, what does that tell you about LSU?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, before we get off of Mississippi State, Alabama, and of course that's who the Crimson Tide play this week.
I tell you what, I like Mississippi State covering that 21, though. I do not think Alabama will blow them out.
And of course,
I would bet on it.
Yeah. But, I don't know.
Mike, why are you thinking about that? To answer your question, you remember the score last year, Michael?
Yeah, 49-9.
They scored 4. Yeah. So don't
49-9.
Yeah.
Right. The thing is, though, is I just don't see how that secondary can get really any better in a week.
But they ain't got to be the secondary. They gonna get it's gonna be the throwing game or the lack of for Mississippi State. Alabama's gonna put more pressure on him, and they going to. Another key thing nobody wants to talk about is Will Anderson. He was double teamed every snap.
I was wondering, where was he in that football game?
Never crossed the line of scrimmage.
Because that's what I told Dad. I told Dad the MVP of the game for me was Tennessee's offensive line. They absolutely whipped Alabama.
Yeah.
No doubt they did. Absolutely. And the way they did it, I mean, they did a basketball plan, mixing up the blocking assignment to the defensive lineman and with Will Anderson.
Yeah.
He didn't know where they were coming from half the time.
Yeah.
Whether it was a tight end, whether it was a back, whether it was a double team for the guard tackle, they mixed it up. I watched them. I reread that defensive front plays when Alabama. I must have looked at that thing 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And they did a great job.
They sure did.
Outstanding job.
And you know what? Nobody has ever celebrated a victory like the folks from Rocky Top. Let me tell you this. Auburn might have thought they filled up their stadium after a big win and all that, but listen, you could not have written a more storybook finish than that game.
I turned it off. I turned it off. You'll have to tell me what.
But I watched it last night, Mike. I watched it last night and showed the whole thing. And let me tell you, nobody's ever celebrated a victory like Tennessee.
I heard they carried the goalpost out of the stadium with students riding it, and then they threw the goalpost
in the river. In the river, they walked it down the street. But, that's all about the hype of winning a game like this. I mean, the Tennessee folks showed how you act when you win a ball game.
You know how bad that fan base probably, like, some people would have paid money for that goalpost?
Yeah.
They threw it in the river. I guarantee you somebody went back in there and scooped it up.
I bet they did, too.
If they had to, they would do it.
But you had to give them credit. Again, they were ready with the fireworks. They were ready. They were ready for a victory, whether or not they were going to get one or not.
I tell you what, they had the cigars on the field.
Oh yeah,
I did see some pictures. They all had them in their mouth on the field.
Oh yeah, they said they had 100. One of them said they had 100 cigars, and most all of them were lit and puffed on.
Well, I saw the amount of money it cost Tennessee about $1 million celebration.
Oh boy! But you know what? I don't believe there'd be anybody that would tell them that they wanted it any different. It was just unreal.
I read an article from the president. There was a picture of the president in the press box, and he had a cigar in his mouth, and his quote was, "We can do this every weekend." Like basically, money doesn't matter.
Oh, the president of the university. Yeah, you were talking about the president of the university.
Yeah, University of Tennessee.
But that was a tradition Bear Bryant started a long time ago. Light the cigar.
His former Tennessee, I guess, Brad started it when Alabama beat Tennessee.
But Max, the one big thing that everybody found out that Alabama can be had.
Well, Saban's lost the game every year, Dad. Every year.
It ain't gonna happen overnight, though, Mike. I'm gonna tell you. I mean, Alabama still, has got. They run a person like Heupel, but remember, Heupel he came out of Central Florida. He ain't been there, but it's his third year. In my mind, I wonder how long he stays.
Yeah.
I mean, if Tennessee goes up the salary this year, looks like probably go to the NFL.
You know what?
They already bumped it $1 million, but they bumped him up to just $5 million. That's all he's making.
Right. Of course, the
other coach is making 10, 11, 12.
The guru is located right there in Knoxville, Tennessee. The great Jimmy Sexton. And so this Tennessee coach will be making $7, $8 million before long.
I always thought Sexton lived in Memphis.
Well, maybe it does.
Well, Max, you think there's any chance Ole Miss will beat Alabama in Oxford?
No. Alabama will do about 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Ole Miss doesn't have the depth. I mean, they're kind of sporadic. If you watch that game last week, they kind of fooled around the defense, gave up a bunch of points, and we know Auburn's not very good. They got a little momentum forward, and it turned.
But now with the running back Bigsby, he looked as good as any running back I've seen. And
well, he's been that way, Mike, all year, but they don't call his number.
I think you're going to see him call his number a lot more.
But let me ask you this: 2 ball games that they lost, he carried the ball 9 times one of them and left it the other. And he's one of the top running backs in the conference, without a doubt.
Uh-huh.
So my question is, why?
Yeah.
Who's calling the plays over there, or who's throwing the game plan up?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have experience. It's just a dumpster fire. I'll be honest with you.
Well, who would have thought Ole Miss would have run the ball 69 times in that game? Ole Miss ran the ball that many times.
Auburn rushed for 301, and Ole Miss rushed for 448. Max.
Yeah, I know. Bottom line is, though, I think both sides took what the defense gave. So,
that's right.
The Auburn was expected to probably play a lot of 3-man rush, 4-man rush at the most, drop 6 or 8. They just they got 2 pretty good running backs.
They weren't even. Ole Miss was not even trying to run the ball fast. So did they have their fast deal in?
Yeah, they ran hurry up.
They ran hurry up in all those running games.
This kid, Quashawn Junkins from Pike Road, Alabama, literally about 40 miles from Troy, Max, is a star. And Alabama and Auburn didn't even offer him.
Yeah.
True.
The kid from Pike Road.
You find one, every recruiting class will have a kid like that.
Yeah.
It's a trick to the crack.
All right, Max, we got to do this quick now. We got to do this quick. We're going to start off with some games played tonight. Georgia State against Appalachian State on a Wednesday night. I'm gonna have to take App State.
Yeah, I'm going with App State. I think they'll rebound.
All right, Troy and South Alabama tomorrow night on nationwide television, and this is going to be a good one, Max. How do you see it?
Of course, I gotta go for Troy without a doubt, but I'm not sure they can win. South Alabama's got a really good football team this year.
They
If
took
they were playing
they-
Troy, I think it'd be a whole different game.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, Troy's won 4 in a row in the series.
right.
And the line is only 3 in Vegas. So Vegas is telling you if it's 3, it's pick 'em.
I mean,
Yeah, so
but
it'll be interesting. Interesting to
hey,
see
Mike,
how.
who's starting quarterback for Troy?
I
Yeah,
think that.
that's what I was about to say. Troy's got a little quarterback controversy.
Yeah.
Nobody's really thought
But
about.
I think the kid from the transfer, I think he's going to be I think he's going to be the quarterback.
I think talent-wise, he's probably the right choice.
Yeah,
Just remember watching. Gunner's just a little slow in his release.
yeah.
If you got guys chasing you, you better get rid of it. And I think
Yeah.
he is the thing.
So I'll take Troy to upset him. I think Troy's just got that number in a way, and I'm gonna take Troy.
I'm gonna say Troy. I think Troy, and I think it'll probably go to the wire. But maybe like this last week.
I'll tell you what, though, Max, you got to be impressed with Coach Summerall. Bob is
No
in his
doubt.
first year.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
In
I
fact,
know.
they should have been out state.
Yeah.
You know that.
Oh, yeah. Should be 6-1.
That's right. It should be 6-1. You're
So
right.
They should be 5-1 right there.
Yeah, 5-1.
So,
Virginia.
They'd be 6-1 because they're 5-2 right now.
Yeah.
But this is a very important game, and in fact, Troy would be looking at a possibility of playing for a championship of the conference if they went on out.
They'd be in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Virginia and Georgia Tech play tomorrow night too, and I couldn't care less. UAB and Western Kentucky.
Georgia Tech interim coach has won 2 in a row.
Yeah, I know it. You would have thought he won 10 in a row.
They just hired the associate athletic director from Alabama away to be the new athletic director at Georgia Tech. So I don't know who he'll bring in as coach.
UAB and Western Kentucky play on Friday nights, and my good friend Brian Benson is the head coach at UAB. Who you like that way? That Max?
The Western Kentucky's been pretty good. I'm going to take UAB in that one.
Yeah, okay. Syracuse, undefeated Syracuse against Clemson, the battle of unbeatens. I would say this is one of the highlight games of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Clemson. Are they playing that in Syracuse?
They're playing at Clemson, I think, Mike. Is that right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Syracuse backup quarterback. Starting quarterback was a backup quarterback, Mississippi State. Traded.
Yeah, okay, yeah, they've done real well. Okay, I'm going to take Clemson to win that game, playing at Clemson.
Beat Florida State. They were up 34-14. I think the final score was 34-28.
Yeah.
Right.
Iowa and Ohio State.
Their quarterback's playing a lot better at Clemson this year, though.
Yeah.
Well, if you notice, he's lost about 20 or 25 pounds on top of
Yeah.
that. He looks a lot slimmer.
Another game I wanted you to take a look at would be West Virginia at Texas Tech. Now, our coach who's coaching at West Virginia, he coached also at Texas Tech. You remember the time that
Tommy Tuberville slapped him up on the sideline?
That's right. In that there was a game that he hit him with his hat. Who do you like there, Mac?
Neil Brown is in trouble.
No doubt.
Their defense is getting shredded. They found a way to beat Baylor, but this line in Vegas has gone from 4 to 7, so a lot of people are jumping on Texas Tech.
What was the score of that West Virginia Texas Tech game, Mike?
I'm going to take Texas Tech at home.
West Virginia beat Baylor 43-40.
Boy, that was a close one.
Baylor was favored in that game, though.
Yeah.
I think the Texas beat West Virginia.
Texas beat them. Texas beat them 38-20.
Yeah, I think I'll take Texas Tech. I'll take Texas Tech against West Virginia.
Texas struggled. I watched that game this past weekend against Iowa State. They barely came back and won that game. And Iowa State was driving late.
Yeah.
And Texas stopped them. So.
One of the teams in the Big Ten that everybody's talking about is Purdue. What do you think? Against Wisconsin, playing at Wisconsin. You know,
How'd you get on a picket kick with Max? Are we doing the picket show tomorrow?
Yeah, we are, but I was gonna let everybody see who Max like. Purdue is red hot. I'm gonna take Purdue.
You know, yeah, I'm gonna take Purdue. I have a hard time with those particular seats outside the conference.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to a SEC matchup.
No, one more though. UCLA against Bo, my buddy Bo.
Bo who?
Oregon.
Oh.
Bo Nix. And he set the woods on fire out there.
UCLA. I don't know. They played in UCLA.
No, they're playing in Oregon, in Eugene.
I'll take Oregon.
Yeah. I was looking at some other.
What about Ole Miss though at LSU? What do you think about that game, Max?
Yeah.
That's a hard game to figure for me.
It is. I like to say Ole Miss probably got a shot, but Ole Miss has played well for the last couple of weeks. I'm not sure they aren't looking ahead to Alabama. It wouldn't surprise me to see Ole Miss get beat there.
Yeah.
I think Ole Miss is a better coach football team than LSU is right now. But you go to Tiger Stadium tonight, man. That's a tough road.
Yeah, lucky for them though, it's gonna be the 2:30 kick.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be.
Game. You got LSU went from a pick to now 1.5 in Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Ole Miss. I'm gonna take Ole Miss to win that one.
Yeah. That's gonna be a dilly right there. That's gonna be a humdinger.
Kiffin has really impressed me at Ole Miss. I knew he'd do well, but
he's been able to take what he's got.
Yeah.
I think what you got to realize too, Michael, is he brought in 27 transfers.
Yeah.
To the portal this year. They started in the defensive side. What he moved campus,
Yeah.
They didn't get there from 2 they started.
And I watched the Dart kid. The Dart kid, the quarterback, started to play better for him too. He didn't have a great game against Auburn, but Kiffin can really develop a quarterback. That's one thing that's always really impressed me.
All right,
he started letting him run. So he get him outside and let him tuck it run like Corral did last year.
All right, everybody likes Alabama to beat Mississippi State in Tuscaloosa. So
I do not think it'll be a blowout.
But and of course it's going to be a. Well, Max, of course.
Alabama, unfortunately, I feel like this year, until they develop a go-to guy at wide receiver, I feel like Mississippi State can actually run the ball this year too. I feel like they're better this year than they were when Alabama played them last year. You got
to remember the mindset going into Tuscaloosa with a team like Mississippi State. You don't think they had to look at last year's state. They got destroyed last year. They were rolling along pretty good.
Yeah.
The talent level and the depth, Michael, is the thing to be the difference.
So you're telling all Alabama fans everywhere is to not give up on the Tide. That the Tide's got a lot of winning to do for us all over with.
I don't think it's any doubt. They got more talent than anybody else that's going to play the rest of the year. It's all about getting.
So you look for looking at the long run, you're looking for Alabama against Georgia for the conference championship, are you?
Yep. Or maybe Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's one thing about Alabama, though. I mentioned, Bryce Young now has lost 3 games as starting quarterback at Alabama. And if he loses one more, it's going to be hard to believe that Bryce Young, as a starting quarterback at Alabama, did not win a national championship, and he's only 1 loss away from it.
Yeah, you're right.
But think about it. If you watch that ball game, the offensive front, it helped him much. He got knocked around a lot.
Yeah.
That number 21 took his head off.
Yeah.
Because I'd rate it probably wasn't targeting, but it was unnecessary roughness after the ball left the team.
I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what. Anybody don't think that quarterback's not tough? They haven't watched the film on him. He has it all. He has the toughness and he's got he's just a great quarterback.
I don't think that's the prototype though for a quarterback. Now is today's game. Alabama's number 2, Bill Rowe. It's a prototype. Look, the 6'3", 220 kid that can run. But you got to get that combination.
Yeah.
Bryce Young makes that stuff what he does through his ears.
Yeah. In fact, most of the time he never actually calls his number. It's always he's always running for trouble.
He caught it one time in that Tennessee game and didn't get down and just got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing about Bryce Young, though. I've never seen a quarterback scramble and stop and make an amazing throw like he can.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
All right, Max. Everybody's wondering. What's for dinner? What's for dinner?
I got to tell you about this, guys. My crowd from over here went to the Mississippi Delta this past weekend. All right, the limit on squirrels is 8 a day. They took 10 people. You know how many squirrels they brought home?
80.
160.
All right, now how did they fillet? That is
a lot of squirrels.
Hey, did they fillet those squirrels, or how do they prepare them?
Oh, right now they just skin them off and frozen.
Yeah, that's right.
But we'll break them down by the weekend now. But we're gonna have squirrel dumplings and squirrel dressing for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I already got the business for that.
Oh gosh.
But anyway, we're gonna do a squirrel cook this weekend.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah.
We'll do a deep fry with the rosy gravy over rice. We'll have garlic bread toast with the coleslaw. This time of year, they kind of get away from the light stuff. They're gonna do a berry casserole, blackberries.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We'll do that hot from the oven with some vanilla ice cream on top.
Oh boy. It sounds great, Max. I tell you, you're our good friend, Max. We appreciate you coming on our show every Wednesday, and of course, we feel like you're the top analyst out there, and we appreciate you very much.
Thank you, guys. It's always my pleasure. I enjoy being here.
And hope that you, ladies and gentlemen, and hope you thanks Mike from Graydon, and of course, we appreciate you watching our show, and all the sponsors. We appreciate you very, very much. We'll see you tomorrow. For our Pickett show, I'll let you know who's going to win in college football tomorrow.